The following segment on News Talk 1340 KROC-AM is sponsored and paid for by Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Results. And this morning, there's no Robin. Nice to meet you, folks. I have two of the members of the Gwaltney Group with us, and I'm amazed. You're the largest of the real estate groups here in the community, and we're anxious to meet every one of you. But today we have with us Krystal, Gillespie, and Michael Grob in studio, and I'm going to ask you, Michael, to get real close to that microphone because it doesn't pick up all that well.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in and joining us today and letting everybody kind of get to know you.
Well, thanks for having us, Andy. Appreciate it.
I guess we'll start out. I don't even have an idea where to start out, but maybe both of you can tell me. Krystal, you want to go first? How long have you been with Gwaltney Group?
Thanks for having me on, Andy. I have been with the Gwaltney Group for coming up on about 4 years now, and that's about the same time that I've had my real estate license. I started off working with Robin. I thought that was a good area to place myself, and I was kind of one of the original members of her team, so I've seen a lot of growth since I've been here.
I imagine, yeah. Michael, how long? Well, maybe how long you been in? Krystal, you've been 4 years. So how long you been in real estate, and how long with the Gwaltney Group?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I've been in real estate for 3 years now, and 2 of those years I have been with Robin. I love working on her team, and she's a magnificent leader.
So, I'm going to guess, Krystal, you're probably, what, 20s, late 20s?
Late 20s, yes. A lady never reveals her age, Andy.
Well, trust me, late 20s is a great place to be. It
is. I'm in the prime of my life right now.
It's gone by the riverside for me a long time ago. But what made you get into real estate?
Well, I actually grew up a little bit in the industry. My mother, a single mother, had a couple of jobs. She worked for the federal government full-time, and as a part-time gig, her and her best friend got their real estate license, and this was probably when I was about 10 years old. And she told me that ever since she got her license and she had to bring me with on several of her showings, she said that I was always the salesperson. I was her closer. I would show up and I would go and look and walk through houses, and then I would start telling people, oh, if you paint your walls this color, it will make it feel more like you, or you can take out this wall here, that's what we just did to our house, and you'll be able to increase the value. So I kind of grew up going to different listings and showing. After that, up until the point where I moved away from Salt Lake City, Utah, I managed a real estate office and was their front desk office manager. And then when I moved to Rochester is when I got my own real estate license and then partnered with Robin and started selling real estate on my own.
Wow. So are you from the Salt Lake area then?
I am from the Salt Lake area. Originally from Atlanta, Georgia, grew up in Salt Lake City, made my way to Minnesota where my extended family lives, and I call it home now. I think that Rochester is the place for me.
So, Salt Lake, Atlanta, Minnesota.
Salt Lake, Atlanta, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I have family and friends everywhere.
How have you dealt with our wonderful winter months?
Winter is not my favorite.
Okay.
I do admit that I find myself hibernating a little bit, but some of my busiest seasons in real estate have actually been through the winter. And I remember one January, it was the first like 3 weeks of the year, and I had probably 7 closings, and it was all because nobody wanted to close right before Christmas. They all want to stay in their own house. But I remember just going out, and I would just be in coats and hats and frozen lockboxes that would be covered in snow piles and digging through, trying to get through yards and helping push my clients out of snow ditches. And it was just selling in the wintertime, can I just say, it brings all new challenges.
Yes, I imagine.
But the summers here are amazing.
Yeah, we do have
It's
nice
what we
summers.
live for.
I'm a lifelong, so I still question why I'm here when it's winter. I go, what am I doing here? Michael, how long Are you a local Rochester person?
I am not. I'm actually from Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Yeah.
No, I was a firefighter EMT down there for about 11
yeah?
years, and my wife was fortunate enough to get a job here at Mayo in Rochester, and so we relocated our family here and built a home here in Rochester, and just love the area. Love being in Rochester. It's a great town.
It is a great community. We are lucky to be here, that's for sure. Both of you, I don't know how to, I'll start with you, Michael. What's your favorite part of the job of being a realtor?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And kind of goes along with when I worked at the fire department and worked at Mayo for a short time when we first moved here, as I get to help people. I get to help people through the process of buying or selling a home and, achieving their dream of real estate and in whatever fashion that may be. So it's great just to be along the side of them and assist them through all the process. Yeah.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I do. I will say I do like the helping people aspect, but I like the single mother that I had mentioned earlier. She raised us, and we started renovating houses. When she got her license, we just started renovating houses. We would probably move every 2 to 3 years. And I have grown to know houses inside and out. So I can help through the process, but I think that an area that really helps build trust with the buyers that I work with is being able to take them through homes and kind of talk through some more of the structural details of houses. And I also just recently completed carpentry school at RCTC. And so I have my carpentry degree. And it's just something that, again, if anybody ever has any questions regarding like the actual structure or architectural style or design aspects, that's something that I can help with. And so I really think that me being a house nerd is what makes me a good real estate agent.
That's the first time I've heard that. House nerd. I've never ever.
I am a house nerd through and through.
But if you were looking at a home and somebody had the idea of, well, what if I knock down this wall here? You right away could say, nah, sorry, you can't do that.
I can tell them that sometimes that's a good idea, and other times it is the beginning of a project creep because it's not as easy as just opening it up.
I've actually experienced that. Michael, you mentioned you were an EMT. Where did the shift come to, real estate? Because they're completely opposite ends of the spectrum, other than the helping people aspect.
Right. And along with like what Krystal was talking about too, in our training at the fire department, we did go over structural size and aspects of residential construction. And so having that background and knowing, but I just enjoy just being there, holding their hands through that whole process. And it's exciting to get them to the closing table and see the smile on their face. Absolutely.
So you have, you mentioned your wife works at Mayo, which is like the most common answer in the world if you live here. Any kids?
We do. We have 3 wonderful kids. My oldest is 22. I've got one that's turning 21 this summer, and our youngest just turned 14. So,
oh, my goodness.
Yeah, very blessed.
College age?
Yes.
I've got a just turned 23 and then a 26.
Okay.
And I hear you are actually, Krystal, I'm talking to you now, about to get married.
I am. So
Congratulations,
I am. Thank you. Thank you very much. The wedding date, we're scheduled in September to be married. And the last few months have been a little stressful because we decided that it was a good idea to buy a house and renovate the house before the wedding. So not only am I now securing vendors for my DJ and food and all of that fun stuff, but I have to go and check in regularly on the project. We're over nights and weekends, and whenever I'm not showing houses or doing any real estate closings, we're over there working on the project. So I can definitely relate to any couples out there that are getting married, planning weddings, looking to buy a house. It's very stressful, but you can get through it together.
That's right. You better get through it.
Right? That's the key, getting through it together.
And
if you can make it through this, you can make it through anything.
There you go, because when we built our house, we were newlyweds. And so you learn to communicate really quickly because you had better.
Lots of compromise. Exactly. There's no other choice.
And I imagine, too, Michael, the firefighter part, EMT part, that communication skills that you learned in that are probably really key.
Oh, absolutely.
To make it easy to find your way through the minutia and get to the real heart of the matter.
Oh, absolutely. And, communication throughout the fire station and with your colleagues on the truck, as well as the patients that we would go out and help in time of need.
We're going to talk more with these two, and, of course, down the road, meet more members of the Gwaltney Group, but we'll be right back. I'm Andy Brownell, and this is News Talk 1340, KROC-AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back, and good morning. This is usually the time we're talking with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results. I'm Andy Brownell, but today we're getting acquainted with members of Robin's team. I imagine just from meeting the two of you that the team is quite diverse as far as life experience and age groups and the whole works. And one thing I wanted to ask you about, Michael, before you mentioned the kids, and you're getting married, so you have those two different perspectives. I imagine having gone through the whole child rearing part and having them being young adults and branching out, perhaps you get it from two different perspectives yourself. You have the perspective of being the parent and also being the parent of somebody who may be in the marketplace soon to buy a home.
Right.
And I know from my journey, you learn a little bit along the way.
Yeah.
I bet that really is helpful when you're out there working with people, especially buying homes.
Yeah, it is, Andy. And as a matter of fact, I talked to a dad that is on the West Coast, and his daughter is buying a house here in Rochester. And he said, take care of her like you would your own daughter. And I gave him my word. That is something that, I take very serious. And you're right. Of helping raise your kids and lead them in the right direction. You do that as well in real estate and helping your buyers and sellers and through that process. Yeah.
And obviously everybody is all about work all the time, 24 hours a day. What else do you guys do, Krystal? I mean, you have hobbies that you like to spend. I mean, you don't have any time off. That's right. You're working on a house and getting ready to be married.
Well, that is one of my hobbies was, meeting my now fiance and, kind of just exploring all of the Rochester restaurants. We have all of the new restaurants and the new breweries that we like to go and frequent. Yeah. But one of my hobbies is home renovating. And so I have been in Rochester now 6 years, I want to say. And I think I'm on house number 16 that I've been a part of. So in some aspect, whether that's I'm there doing the nitty-gritty work or it's some partners and I doing some work together, and I do a lot of design work and a lot of design consultations. And I have future clients calling me, asking me what colors they need to paint their house and what tile they need to put in their bathroom when they're redoing it. So that keeps me pretty busy.
I bet it does.
In my spare time.
That sounds like work. I hate to say that.
Yeah, and then, we also, a lot of the team is involved in the community, so we kind of all have our different boards and committees that we serve on as well.
The way you were talking there, I thought for sure you were going to tell me you had some reality show on HGTV that was happening.
Not yet. She doesn't.
Not yet. That one's still in the works.
Michael, what do you do outside of selling and buying homes?
Teeing it up out on one of the local golf courses early in the mornings. That's
really?
One of my favorites to get out there.
He does like to do that.
I do. It's an early, get out there at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning and hear the birds chirping. It's quite calming, and I enjoy being out there on the local courses.
Get your 8 p.m. in before work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, of course, you can't do that all year.
No, you can't do that all year.
What do you do the rest of the year, winter?
You will see me at the Rochester Athletic Club.
Okay.
I definitely like to get in there and take care of myself so that I can take care of others. So, yes, I can attest to those winter months. They are a little bit long, but you make the most of it.
You do what you can.
That's right.
That's what I like to say. Krystal, you mentioned involvement in the community. I know Robin's huge involvement in the community. What kind of things are you involved in or partnered with? Or
Robin definitely encourages all of her team members to be really involved in the community, and that was one area that I meshed really well with Robin on. Is she is very, very giving with her time and her energy, and obviously monetarily she's very, very giving as well. I myself I volunteer with the Rochester Area Builders Association, so I help plan they have a fashion show every year. The fashion show's in April. It's called Studs, Struts, and Stilettos. And then I help also do their sporting clay committee and plan the sporting clay event. And once in a while I'll pick up the shotgun and practice my trap shooting and shooting clays. And recently I just started my term as one of the new board commissioners for the Planning and Zoning Board here in Rochester.
Oh, that's actually a coveted position.
It is. Yeah, I felt very honored to be selected by our new mayor to serve the city, and that's a 3-year term. So I've only done about 3 meetings so far, but
I know you have a big public hearing next week.
We do.
On the new zoning set up, the transit corridors.
Yes,
and
I saw that.
That'll be a packed house, I imagine.
I was just sent the packet this afternoon, or I was just sent the packet earlier this week to review, and we have that upcoming, and I'm learning as I go, but it's all good, and everybody's very helpful, and it's an area that I would like to specialize in more, is to know more of our planning and zoning and development guidelines here in Rochester, so that way in turn I can help use that to my benefit and to my clients' benefit also.
And Michael, your involvement in the community.
We're a number of non-for-profits here in Rochester that my family are part of, and I agree with what Krystal said too, that Robin is so generous, and she does encourage us to be a part of the community, and that is one thing that I do appreciate and glad to be a part of what she has going with our group.
Any specific cause that really you have passion for?
You know, the Jeremiah Project, they're building a new facility, and it's a great organization, and so willing to help those that need the help.
So they're going to be brand new here in Rochester.
That's right.
We've heard a little bit, but maybe people haven't heard what the Jeremiah Project is about. Can you offer any insight into that?
Sure. So what the mission is to be able to help single mothers get back on their feet, help them with education, jobs, and that. So what my family and I do is we go and volunteer with their children while the mothers can step away and help themselves get themselves back on their feet. So gives them a little bit of a break, and yet lets us be able to interact with their children and help them out too. So
absolutely. Well, we're getting to know Krystal, Gillespie, Michael Grob from the Gwaltney Group this morning, and we'll be back in just a moment on News Talk 1340 KROC-AM 96.9 FM. Good morning and welcome back. I'm Andy Brownell, and we're with folks from the Gwaltney Group, Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results, Michael Grob, and Krystal Gillespie with us this morning. We're kind of getting to know them and getting to know the Gwaltney Group, for that matter, because Robin is one of, what we said, 30?
Yeah, there's just about 30 of us.
I'll start with you, Mike. What do you think sets the Gwaltney Group apart as far as the local real estate business?
Yeah, that's a great question, because when you're looking for that realtor here in town, who do you want to work with and what sets them apart? I believe one of the things that sets us apart is our admin staff. All the agents do a great job, but we have fantastic admin staff, from Jenna, who is a closing coordinator, Tina, who is a listing coordinator, Camby in the office, and Brian behind the scenes as our marketing guy. They are amazing and work so hard for us and our clients all the way through the process.
Do each one of you kind of have a little niche, kind of an expertise area that you work with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my niche is kind of the first-time home buyer.
Okay.
The ones that are just starting, they're coming out of renting, they're looking for their first home, and it's exciting to show them around and see exactly what they're looking for.
I bet that's a blast.
It is. It is.
When you move out of the apartment and you finally have our place or your place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
When you first get in there. I remember what that was like. It was a million years ago, but I do remember that.
It's a very exciting time for them. I love helping them.
Krystal, what's your niche? Are you I suppose, gutted out houses?
Gutted out houses. I don't know if I actually have a niche, because I love helping the first-time home buyer, and I have helped a lot of first-time home buyers, especially since I am in my late 20s.
That's where we all buy the first house.
Yes, exactly. So I feel like I do get a lot of word-of-mouth referrals for those first-time home buyers. But lately I've actually been helping a lot of people who have been downsizing, maybe at that empty nester stage. And then...
That's kind of a difficult thing, especially in this market.
It is. And it's interesting to see what everybody's perspective of what they say going smaller is, because I live in kind of a small home, I would say. Over in the Slatterly Park neighborhood is where I am. And so I think that's a smaller home. And then I go into some homes where I'm talking with someone and they're talking about how they want a smaller house, and it's like, they're talking about 2,500 square feet, which I think is sizable. I think that's a nice size.
That's a very nice size house, in my perspective, at least.
Yeah, but again, it's all perspective. And so if somebody is saying they're downsizing, it depends where they're coming from. And then obviously with my new carpentry background, I am starting to specialize a little bit more in the new construction area, which I am just hoping takes off, because I love the new houses. And then with the whole design side, I really excel at that point, and I'm willing to hold people's hand while they pick out their gray carpet or their beige carpet, and help them pick out all their countertops and paint colors. And
you tell them there's no such thing as too many closets.
That is true. No such thing as too many closets.
Or too small of a garage, or too large of a garage. That's right.
Yeah, that's
true. Those are the two
also
requirements. I'm going to put you on the spot then. What do you think sets the Gwaltney Group apart?
Yeah, I have been with the team now for almost 4 years, and I have been with Robin through some of the growth of the team. And I mean, we have just exploded, because now there's 26 agents and then the 4 admin that Michael just mentioned. And the admin do make us look like rock stars. We do what we do best, and we know houses best. But they have their internal systems. They're the ones who can be in communication with everyone. You know, they're in communication with appraisers. They're in communication with the lenders. They're in communication with the inspectors. They're in communication with everyone involved in a deal. So I do think that our admin is awesome. And then I also think that where the Gwaltney Group really kind of exceeds everyone's expectations is the fact that we all work together very well. We're not competitors of each other. We're truly family members. And if one person, we see success as a whole, and so we don't want anybody to be left behind. And so if one person on the team isn't being successful, we can all kind of rally and figure out where that success can come from, which I really like. And then it's great for our clients also, because if I am on vacation, we're all human. We go on vacation, we go, sure. We want to go on a date with our, significant other, and someone wants to go see a house at that exact same time, or they have an inspection scheduled or anything. We really just help pick up for our fellow coworker and just treat everybody like they are
a team in the truest sense.
It is a team
Absolutely.
in the truest sense, which I think really can set the Gwaltney team just to the next level of expertise in the area.
And I was supposed to put both of you in charge of promoting the next big Thursdays downtown. I don't know, with fun with the Gwaltney Group, I think is what Robin has told me.
Fun
the last
and games with the Gwaltney Group.
Yeah, fun and games. Yeah.
We're heading into July.
Into July, so we actually have reserved the Thursdays downtown space for the last Thursday of July and the last Thursday of August.
That's correct.
So the 25th of July, I believe, is the Prince Tribute Band. I expect to see everybody in their purple, wearing their purple, rocking their Minnesota colors. And
everybody in this state, regardless if you're a Prince fan or not, everybody's got something.
Everyone's going to wear it. And if it's not purple for the Prince, it's probably purple for the Vikings.
Yeah, some other organization. Yeah, right. That would be me. So you just have to show up and say hi. I'm a friend of the Gwaltney Group, correct?
That's exactly right.
Absolutely. Yeah, just come by, say hi, and introduce yourself. We'd love to see you.
And then most importantly, before we go, because we're almost out of time, if I want to speak with you, Krystal, or you, Michael, how do we get a hold of you at the Gwaltney Group?
Yeah, you could reach out to me via email at michael@gwaltneygroup.com, or just call me on my cell phone at 507-884-4284.
Krystal?
Yeah, and my name is spelt with a K, so saying Krystal at the Gwaltney Group isn't so simple. But my cell phone number is 507-250-4800.
And if I go to the website,
you can go to
I can find links to
gwaltneygroup.com.
both of you there.
And you can find us both there,
Absolutely.
read our bios, get in contact with us through that webpage.
Well, fantastic. It's been so great meeting both of you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on this morning.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. All right. We'll have another episode, another meeting with Robin and the group, the team, next Saturday. News Talk 1340, KROC-AM and 96.9 FM.